How do you choose an uncontested divorce lawyer? Today, we're going to be talking about tips that will help you find the lawyer who is the right match for you. Hi, I'm Max Ruthenberg Marshall, founder of Porchlight. When you're looking for an attorney, they're probably not going to be the first Google result that comes up, so you're going to want to make sure to dive in a little bit deeper and find someone who's a match. First, you'll do this by going to their website. Attorneys are people too, and for some attorneys, you're just gonna get an instant feeling that, hey, this isn't the right match. And other attorneys, you'll feel like, okay, this is a possibility, just based on the vibe that you get from their website. You wanna do this research before calling so that you're not calling and booking appointments with every attorney in town. Look at how they treat uncontested divorces on their website. Some attorneys just throw in uncontested divorces as an afterthought because they don't make them as much money as contested divorces. So if you know you want an uncontested or low conflict divorce, you want to look for someone who's actually represented that on their website. You'll also want to see if they have a particular specialty. Some firms have a client specialty. For example, they might only work with men or only work with women. Other firms will have a subject matter expertise and specialty, such as focusing on high net worth cases or long distance parenting cases. You're going to want to look for someone who fits with what's going on in your case. So if you want an uncontested divorce, look for someone who has words like uncontested and low conflict on their website, who talks about that as their approach to divorces. It doesn't focus on litigating and getting cases into court and resolving them that way. You want to look for someone who's talking about a peaceable approach, mentions mediation, alternative dispute resolution, and resolving things through settlement. You'll also want to look at how long they've been practicing. An attorney who's right out of law school, unless they are closely supervised by a senior attorney, just doesn't have the knowledge to handle your case with full expertise. They'll get it done. I mean, anyone can file a petition for divorce and have it served on the opposing party. That is a traditional way to start a case, but that's not what happens in an uncontested. And if you want your case to be uncontested, you're going to need an attorney who has a little bit more finesse and can actually negotiate prior to filing to help you resolve the case so you don't have to go the traditional contested route. You'll want to see if they've handled a case like yours. Now, not every fact in your case is going to match exactly the fact pattern of another case, but for some big facts, you do want to make sure that your attorney already has experience working with them. For example, if one of you owns a business, you have a marital business that needs to be divided in the divorce, and there's some complicated processes that go along with that. So you want to make sure you're working with an attorney who knows how to handle marital businesses. Another example is if one of you has a heavy work travel schedule, that means you're going to have to come up with a creative, non-traditional custody and parenting time plan. You're going to want to work with an attorney who's used to finding creative solutions and not just putting the default plans in place, rubber stamping them, and moving on. Of course, you'll want to look at how an attorney charges. Traditionally, family law attorneys charge by the hour, and that's what you're going to find with most family law attorneys. So they're going to ask you for a retainer. They're going to bill their hourly work against it, and when your retainer runs out, they're going to ask you for more money. An alternative that is starting to gain some traction is flat fees. This gives you predictable pricing for your case, so you know how much it's going to cost. One thing that causes a lot of confusion is when people are talking to an hourly attorney and they hear the retainer amount, they think that that's going to be the amount for their entire case. They think that's the attorney estimating how much their case is going to cost. That retainer is not an estimate of your case cost. It's just what the attorney needs to get started working on your case. So if they tell you $2,500 retainer, okay, that sounds really reasonable and affordable, but your case could end up costing $10,000 or more. You have no idea with an hourly attorney. Your attorney is your guide through this process, so you'll want to see how accessible they are to clients. Do you have direct access to get on their calendar, for example, through a booking page that allows you to schedule yourself instead of having to call a receptionist and go through a middleman to actually get in touch with your attorney? You'll also want to ask about their email response policy. They should have a specific policy so that you know what you can expect for the turnaround time on emails. You'll also want to see if they expect you to come to in-person meetings in their office. We all know how Atlanta traffic is, and that can really eat up a chunk of your day. So for a more traditional attorney, they might be expecting you to come into their office several times during a case, whereas another attorney can handle it completely remotely and make the process easier for you. Another thing to look at when you're checking out their website is whether the attorney belongs to any professional groups or associations. You can tell a lot about a person by how they choose to spend their time in the community. So you can look for people who are involved in groups that are aligned with things that are of value or interest to you. And also you want to look and make sure that they're involved in some legal groups. If they're not keeping up with other legal professionals, they may not be keeping up with the changes in the profession, and that could have negative consequences for your case. You'll also want to look and see if they have any awards or recognitions that tells you that they have been noticed for excellence in their field, and you'll be in good hands with them. Finally, you'll want to think about how the attorney makes you feel. There are 3 things that you should definitely have in your relationship with your attorney. First of all, you should like them. You're going to be talking to them a lot. Second of all, you should trust them. That means trust them to guide you in the right direction and give you the best advice for their case. Third, you should have confidence in your attorney. You should know that they have the expertise to handle your case and you're in great hands with them. At Porchlight, we focus on uncontested and low conflict divorces. We recognize that not every client is a good match for us, and we're not a good match for every client. For example, someone who wants a really high conflict case and to get revenge through litigation, that's not going to be a good match, and we're not going to be able to give them the service that they want. So if you have something like that, we are happy to refer you out. If we are not the best people to handle your case, we're going to be direct and tell you that. If you have an uncontested and low conflict case and want to see if we're a good match, please give us a call.